Welcome to the Local Eye Marketing Podcast by Proximity Ads. We're diving deep today into how you as a local business owner can better understand this crazy new customer journey.
Yeah, it's definitely not a straight line anymore, more like a jungle gym.
I like that.
The old funnel model of marketing, awareness, consideration, decision, it just doesn't cut it anymore.
Right.
Today's customer journey is so much more complex.
Yeah.
With people like constantly jumping back and forth between exploring and evaluating their options. Google actually calls this the messy middle, and it really is a game changer for local businesses.
So let's unpack this messy middle. I mean, I'm picturing like a tangled mess of vines and ropes. But how does this actually translate to like customer behavior?
Well, just think about your own recent purchases.
Yeah.
Have you ever started shopping for like one thing and ended up buying something completely different?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Or maybe you've spent hours reading reviews, comparing prices, watching demos, maybe even asking friends for recommendations, all before finally hitting that buy button. That's the messy middle in action.
Yeah, for sure. Just the other day, I was trying to buy a new pair of running shoes. I started by checking out a brand I knew. Then I got sidetracked by a friend's rave review about a different brand. Then I fell down this rabbit hole of like comparison articles. It took me forever to finally decide.
And that's exactly the point. The messy middle is where local businesses like yours have a real opportunity to stand out. Big brands might dominate that initial awareness phase, but you can win over customers by being present and persuasive at multiple points throughout their journey.
Right.
It's about showing up right when they're ready to engage, whether it's through a well-placed search ad, or a glowing review on your Google business profile, or even an eye-catching digital billboard as they walk into their favorite coffee shop.
So it's not just about being on every platform. It's about strategically positioning yourself at those like critical moments of decision making.
Precisely. And to do that effectively, you need to understand the two key mindsets that customers cycle through in this messy middle: exploration and evaluation.
Okay, let's break this down. What does the exploration phase look like?
Okay, so imagine someone realizing their old coffee maker just isn't cutting it anymore. They're now in exploration mode, gathering information, checking out different brands, figuring out what features are important to them, and maybe even getting inspired by new possibilities. They might be browsing online, asking friends for recommendations, or even just noticing different brands as they go about their day.
So it's not just about active searching. It's also about passive absorption of information and inspiration.
Exactly. And then as they gather more information, they move into the evaluation phase. This is where they start narrowing down their choices, comparing prices and features, reading reviews, and really getting down to the nitty-gritty of which specific coffee maker to buy.
Right, so this is where those targeted ads, online reviews, and maybe even a tempting discount could really make a difference.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. These mindsets don't always happen in a linear order. Customers can bounce back and forth between exploration and evaluation multiple times before finally committing to a purchase.
So it's like they're on a jungle gym, swinging back and forth between those two mindsets. It's not a straight path. It's more like a winding, unpredictable journey.
Exactly. And that's why understanding these dynamics is so crucial for local businesses. You need to be present and engaging throughout the entire journey, not just at the beginning or the end.
I'm already rethinking my entire marketing approach. It's not enough to just have a website and a Facebook page anymore. We need to be strategically weaving ourselves into those key moments of exploration and evaluation.
You got it. And to do that effectively, we need to tap into the power of behavioral science.
Okay, now you're really piquing my interest. What does behavior science have to do with marketing my local business?
Well, our brains are wired to use these mental shortcuts. They're called cognitive biases when making decisions. And savvy marketers can leverage these biases to gently nudge customers in the right direction.
So it's like understanding the subtle psychological factors that influence our choices.
Precisely. For example, one powerful bias is brand presence. Simply being visible and present during a customer's research process increases the chance of being chosen.
Oh, that makes sense.
Think about it. If you see a brand's logo or name repeatedly as you're researching a product or service, you're more likely to feel familiar with it and consider it a viable option.
So even if I'm not actively advertising to someone at that exact moment, just having a strong presence in their online and offline world could influence their decision down the line.
Exactly. It's about planting those seeds early on and building familiarity over time. And this is where those indoor digital billboards can be incredibly powerful. Imagine someone waiting for their takeout order at a busy restaurant. And seeing your ad flash across the screen, that's a prime opportunity to make an impression right when
Absolutely.
they're
And
in a
another
receptive
powerful
mindset.
bias is
That's a great
category
point.
heuristics.
Which are basically those mental shortcuts we use to simplify decision making when we're feeling overwhelmed.
Okay.
Think about how some wine labels highlight organic or sustainable, or how certain clothing brands emphasize fair trade practices. These are quick signals that tap into consumers' values and make it easier for them to choose.
So it's about highlighting those key features or benefits that quickly resonate with the customer's needs and values.
Exactly. You don't always need to bombard them with tons of information. Sometimes a simple, well-placed message is all it takes. And this is where a well-crafted Google Business Profile can be a game changer. By highlighting those key attributes that make your business unique, you can instantly connect with potential customers who are actively searching for businesses like yours.
This is where it starts to feel really relevant for local businesses. Even if you don't have the marketing budget of a huge corporation, you can still use these behavioral insights to your advantage.
Exactly. And that's what we'll explore further in the next segment. We'll delve into some specific strategies and tactics that you can use to leverage these biases and win over customers in the messy middle. But first, I'm curious what's resonating with you so far.
I'm really intrigued by this idea of like using cognitive biases to our advantage. It feels a bit like we're unlocking these secret codes in the customer's brain, but in an ethical way, of course.
Yeah.
What are some other biases that local businesses should be aware of?
Oh, there are so many fascinating ones. One that's particularly relevant in today's fast-paced world is the power of now. You see, we humans are inherently impatient creatures.
Hmm.
We want things instantly, and we're more likely to choose options that offer immediate gratification.
So if I can emphasize like speed and convenience in my marketing message,
Yeah.
like highlighting same-day delivery, we're offering a quick and easy online ordering process, I might be able to nudge customers towards choosing my business over a competitor.
Exactly. Think about how much more appealing a restaurant delivery service becomes when they promise delivery in under 30 minutes. Or how tempting a shop now, pay later option can be for someone browsing online. It's all about tapping into that innate desire for instant gratification.
That makes a lot of sense. And speaking of online shopping, I know that customer reviews play a huge role in my decision-making process. Is there a cognitive bias at play there too?
Absolutely. That's the power of social proof. We're more likely to do something if we see others doing it, especially if those others are people we trust or identify with. Think about those 5-star ratings on Amazon or the glowing testimonials on a business's website. They provide a sense of reassurance and validation, especially when we're unsure about a purchase.
I know I've definitely been swayed by a bunch of positive reviews before. It's like a virtual stamp of approval from other customers.
Exactly. And this is where managing your online reputation is crucial for local businesses. Encourage happy customers to leave reviews on platforms like Google, Yelp, and Facebook. Respond to reviews both positive and negative in a professional and timely manner. It shows that you care about your customers and their experiences.
It's like building a community of trust and credibility around your brand. And what about those situations where we're looking for expert advice or guidance? Is there a bias that comes into play there?
You bet. That's the authority bias, where we tend to trust and follow the lead of experts or figures we perceive as knowledgeable and credible.
Okay.
Think about endorsements from industry publications, certifications from reputable organizations, or even positive reviews from influential bloggers or social media personalities.
So if I can showcase those trust signals, whether it's a Best of Award, a professional certification, or a partnership with a respected local organization, I can boost my credibility and influence potential customers.
Precisely. It's about aligning yourself with sources of authority that your target audience trusts and respects. And don't underestimate the power of local influencers. Partnering with a popular food blogger to review your restaurant, or a local fashionista to showcase your boutique's latest collection, can do wonders for your brand's visibility and appeal.
I'm starting to see how understanding these cognitive biases can completely transform our marketing approach. It's like having a secret weapon in our arsenal.
It is. And there are a couple more biases that are worth mentioning. One is the power of free. I know this might sound obvious, but everyone loves a good deal. Offering a free trial, a bonus item, or even a small gift with purchase can be incredibly persuasive.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a sucker for a freebie,
Oh,
especially if it's something that adds value to my purchase.
exactly. It taps into our innate desire to get something for nothing. And finally, there's the scarcity bias, which triggers our fear of missing out. Think limited time offers, low stock warnings, or exclusive deals. These create a sense of urgency and encourage customers to act quickly before they miss out on something special.
I know those limited time early promotions always get me clicking. It's like this built-in urgency that overrides my usual hesitation.
Exactly. By strategically using these biases, you can create marketing campaigns that resonate on a deeper psychological level and drive action.
This has been incredibly insightful, but I'm also feeling a bit overwhelmed. It's like we've opened Pandora's box of cognitive biases. How can local businesses practically apply all these principles without getting lost in the weeds?
That's a great question. And it's what we'll dive into next. Let's explore some tangible strategies and tactics that you can implement in your own business to navigate this messy middle and win over customers.
Okay, so we've talked about all these cognitive biases, but how do we actually use them? Where do we even start?
Well, you've already got a website, right? That's a fantastic foundation. Now let's think about how to make it work harder for you in this messy middle.
Yeah, I'm all ears. It does feel like websites are almost taken for granted these days,
Yeah,
but maybe we're not using them to their full potential.
exactly. Your website's not just an online brochure. It needs to be like a dynamic hub that guides customers through their journey. So think about incorporating clear calls to action, high quality photos, concise descriptions that highlight those key benefits we talked about. And don't forget to optimize it for mobile devices. Most people are browsing on their phones these days.
Right. Yeah, that's a good reminder. It's easy to forget how much people are using their phones for everything.
Absolutely. And while we're talking about online presence, your Google business profile is just as important as your website. Make sure it's up to date with your hours contact information and those all-important customer reviews.
It's like your digital storefront. It's often the first thing people see when they search for businesses like yours.
Exactly. And speaking of search, have you considered using search advertising? Platforms like Google Ads allow you to target potential customers who are actively searching for products or services like yours.
I've dabbled in search ads before, but it can feel a bit overwhelming. Any tips for making them more effective?
Yeah, think about those keywords people are using when they're in that exploration phase. What questions are they asking? What problems are they trying to solve? Use those insights to craft targeted ads that speak directly to their needs.
So instead of just advertising plumbing services, I might target phrases like emergency plumber near me or how to fix a leaky faucet.
Exactly. You want to catch people when they're actively searching for solutions. And don't forget about the power of visuals. Eye-catching images and videos can really make your ads stand out from the competition.
Right, okay. And what about social media? It feels like there are a million different platforms these days. How do we know where to focus our efforts?
That's where understanding your target audience is crucial. Where do they hang out online? What kind of content do they engage with? Choose platforms that align with your audience and your business goals.
So a trendy clothing boutique might focus on Instagram, while a B2B service provider might prioritize LinkedIn.
Exactly. And remember those cognitive biases we talked about? Use them to your advantage on social media. Showcase customer testimonials, highlight limited time offers, run contests, partner with local influencers. The possibilities are endless.
This is making me realize that marketing in the messy middle is all about being creative and thinking outside the box. It's not just about placing ads. It's about weaving yourself into the fabric of people's lives.
You got it. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try different approaches, track your results, and see what resonates with your audience. The messy middle is constantly evolving, so you need to be adaptable and willing to adjust your strategies along the way.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the messy middle. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise.
My pleasure. It's been great chatting with you. Remember, the messy middle is not a challenge to be feared, but an opportunity to be embraced. By understanding the new customer journey and leveraging those cognitive biases, local businesses can truly thrive in this dynamic landscape.
Awesome. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, like, and share it with your network.